So, good morning. We will be discussing today yung first topic for semifinals, which is managing products and services. Ayan. So, okay. So, we have two scenarios in here. In scenario A, you are going to buy a physical phone online, whereas for scenario B, you are going to book a ride to campus. So what exactly do you own at the end of each transaction and why do you value each? So if uh you could see the difference between scenario A and B. When you're going to buy a you're going to buy a phone, ito ay it's a tangible product wherein uh the ownership will be transferred to you, no? So kung kunwari bibili kayo ng products, sa inyo na yun mismo. Yung magkakaroon ng transfer ng ownership, tangible siya, magagamit ninyo siya. Pero kapag bubuk ng ride to campus, nagbook ka lang, ang ina-avail mo doon ay yung services. So, ang services, consumable. Hindi siya parang, it's impossible na magkaroon ng ownership pagdating sa pag-render na ano ng services. Okay, so tandaan, okay, before that one. So our lecture objectives: identify the core differences between products and services, analyze how offerings create value using 5C framework, the why, and evaluate specific product decisions like packaging, customizations, and durability. So, ito yung nabanggit natin kanina. We have distinct differences between products and services. Under products, when you buy something, sa inyo na yon. The ownership, mapupunta sa inyo yung ownership ng product na yon. And also, it is physically separable from the manufacturer. Again, yun nga, pag bumili kayo ng phone, bumili kayo ng any item sa mga store, sa inyo na yun. It's separated from the manufacturer na. And it can be durable or non-durable. So, syempre, durable, ito na yung mga cars, appliances, whereas for non-durable, ito yung mga food, cosmetics, ayan, mga nag-expire. Whereas for services, there's no ownership change, but it's just the right to use within a time frame. Kagaya nung sa booking kanina, nung nag-avail ka ng service, meron kang right kasi binayaran mo yon na yung oras na yon, yung service na ita-transport ka from your ipipick up ka kung saan ka and then to your destination, binayaran mo yon. So, pero wala pa ring ownership change yun. Inseparable, created and delivered simultaneously. And perishable, cannot be inventoried. For example, hotel rooms, airline seats. Okay, next one. Okay, so next one, the anatomy of attributes. So we have search, experience, and credence. So ito yung identifiable before purchase. So for example, yung size ng toothpaste, size ng, yan, or size ng toothpaste, ano pa, yung mga specifications ng phone, yan yung mga search attributes. Sina-identify mo sa pagtingin mo pa lang. Isang tingin mo lang yung mga color, yung design, isang tingin mo lang, kita mo na. So those are search attributes. For the experience, Revealed only during consumption. So dito sa example natin, you will be knowing the taste of the toothpaste kung maanghang ba siya o hindi kapag nabili mo na at nagamit mo na siya. And then credence, uh, uncertain even after consumption. So for example, cavity prevention capabilities. So hindi siya fully revealed even after consumption. So take note ano yung product and service attributes, search experience. Parang level 1 search, level 2 experience, level 3 yung credence. Yung sa search, pagka tingin mo pa lang sa grocery or dun sa store, kita mo na kaagad kung paano siya nagiging iba from the other products. Again, examples kanina, yung size, yung color, ah syempre makikita mo na rin through yung I mean yung packaging niya, ganun. Pero yung lasa ng toothpaste or kung minty ba siya or masyado siyang o hindi naman, walang walang effect ganun. You will just know that kapag na-experience mo ng after bumili ng product. So it's only revealed after or only during consumption. Pero yung credence, yung mga sinasabi nila na it fights cavities, ganun, or prevents cavities, hindi mo kaagad yon makikita ng isang gamitan lang. Minsan kahit na naubos mo na yung product, hindi, parang kailangan mo pang mag-repeat purchase para makita talaga yung effect niya. Parang sa mga whitening products, ganun din, di ba? Sa search, makikita mo yung size, yung packaging niya, yung kulay niya, yung amoy niya, yung scent. Pero, ah, yung sa experience, makikita mo na lang kapag nagamit mo na kung greasy siya, may non-sticky feel ba siya, or greasy, or mainit, malagkit sa skin, nabili mo na siya. Pero pag sa credence, long term mo pa makikita kung puputi ka ba talaga o hindi. Okay, so again, yun yung anatomy of attributes. So rule of thumb, tangible goods lean heavily on search. Intangible services rely on experience and credence. Ayun. So again yun. Yung search, parang very easy na sa tangible siya mag ano, tangible goods ang pagbabasehan ng search. Baliktad. Parang ganun. And then, kapag experience and credence, more on the services. So, mini activity, name that attribute. So, we have summit, water bottle, haircut, and then, car maintenance or pag-fix ng car. Classify the core attributes of these three local offerings. And why is it so difficult to standardize the haircut compared to the bottled water? So I want you to answer that in the Google Classroom, which will serve as your attendance. Kahit sa na lang, sa comment na lang. Once na pinost ko once na pinost ko itong recorded discussion. Sa comment kayo sumagot. Okay. So now we move on to the value creation process. Paulit-ulit na natin ito, diba? 5 C's. Quality is not what the supplier puts in, it is what the customer gets out and is willing to pay for. And that is according to Peter Drucker. So for the product and service, we have company, collaborators, context, competitors, and customers. So this is the 5C framework. For the customers, of course, you need to understand, paulit-ulit tayo, you need to understand the customer's needs and wants to satisfy them. So again, how can you satisfy them, diba? If you cannot identify their pain points, if you cannot identify their need. For the company, uh, it your company should, I mean, the offering or the product or service should align with the company's goals and resources. Take note, goals and resources. So, syempre, hindi ka naman pwedeng mag-offer ng ganitong product or service kung limited lang din naman ang resources ni company. At the same time, dapat i-align din yung goals. Kung kung ano muna yung kaya. Syempre, 'di ba, natatandaan natin ang goals dapat SMART, 'di ba? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. So, um, syempre, dapat mag-align din yung product and service offering mo doon sa company. Company's goals and resources. Next one, collaborators. So for collaborators, you have to optimize your partnerships with the supply chain and distribution. For competitors, you can benchmark against competitive offerings so that ano saan ba ka, asan ba yung standing mo dyan? Gaano sila kalamang compared sa'yo? Or mas lamang ka ba kaysa sa kanila? Diba? So you also have to identify your competitors. Natatandaan natin paulit-ulit, direct and indirect competitors. Recap, pag direct competitors, they offer the same product and satisfy the same need. Kapag indirect competitor, they satisfy the same need but offer a different product. So recap again examples. So for example, ang need ay thirst. So ang product mo ay si Coke na lang. Si Coke ba? Soft drinks, sabi mo na wag ng Coke. Soft drinks. Ang direct competitor mo is kapwa mo soft drink. For example, Coke and Pepsi. 'Di ba? Kasi they offer parehas na produkto and they satisfy the same need which is thirst. Pero kapag indirect, pwedeng pumasok diyan yung mga mga Tetra Pak na juices, yung mga ano pa ba, mga pineapple juice, bottled water, ayun, indirect competitor yon. Kasi iba yung product pero they still satisfy the same need. Okay, so context, consider economic, technological, regulatory, and socio-cultural factors. Under the context, dyan na naman papasok yung mga napag-aralan nyo dati, which is the SWOT and the PESEL analysis. Tandaan ng SWOT, strengths and weaknesses, internal, opportunities and threats, external. Under ng OT, ano yun? PESEL analysis. Ano ba yung, political, legal, economic, social, technological, pa ba? Environmental, PESEL analysis. So that is under the context, no? Okay? So makikita ninyo dito, we have the company value, customer value, and collaborator value. And yung nasa gitna, ito yung optimal value proposition. I think na-discuss ko na to. Ito yung Venn diagram and yung nag-overlap, ito yung OVP. Ibig sabihin, si value proposition, meron siyang dapat balik sa company, may balik sa customer, at may balik din sa collaborator, yung product and services nyo. Okay, so again, the 5 C's in action, analyze a local disruptor, example, Angkas or Maya. Pick 2 C's from the framework and how did these factors specifically shape the final service design of the app you choose. So again, comments. Ilagay sa comments ang sagot. Moving on to building the core. Performance to durability. So we have 4 key product and service decisions. So under the performance, optimizing value for customers, company, and collaborators. For consistency, you have to ensure uniformity in delivery. For example, fast food chains have uh, uniformity in delivering their products and services. Hindi pa pwedeng yung isang regular fries, mas maraming lamang fries yung isa kaysa dun sa isa, parang ganon. Dapat consistent sila. So, that is why meron yung tanong kanina, Kung nakikinig kayo, masasagot nyo. Yung tanong kanina, bakit mahirap daw i-customize yung service kontra sa product. 'Di ba kasi kapag product, madali ay i-customize. I mean yun ano yan hindi customize. Bakit daw mahirap i-standardize? Yun yung term ko. I-standardize yung product at saka service. So syempre kapag product, kapag lumabas sa manufacturer, sa factory, pag sinabing square yan, square yan. Pag bilog na lumabas, ano, reject na yung product na yon. So, madaling makita yung mga inconsistencies pagdating sa product. Whereas kasi kapag sa services, madali ang pagkakaroon ng inconsistency kasi una sa lahat, yung mga nagke-carry out ng service, pwedeng hindi pare-parehas ang skill set. So, for example, sa ano nga, ang tawag dito, sa salon, ayan, sa isang salon, merong tatlong nail tech. Ilang beses ka nang nagpunta doon na magpalinis ng kuko. Si Nail Tech 1, siguro ang ganda-ganda o na-impress ka kaya bumalik ka. Eh kaso nung pumalik ka, absent si Nail Tech 1. Pagdating ng Nail Tech 2, nasugat ka, sinipa mo siya sa mukha, di ba? Dahil nasaktan ka. So nagkakaroon ng sabi mo, aray ka. So, so, nakarate mo siya, yung reflex mo ng paa mo is, no, kasi nasaktan ka niya. So, yung inconsistency nandoon, kasi nga, pwedeng yung pag-hire naman ng tao, although merong standard or merong mga qualifications, pero hindi pa rin sila pare-parehas. Kasi meron yung iba, siguro ang basic requirement mo, nakapasya siya sa TESDA, ganon. Pero yung isa, mas mahaba yung years of experience niya kontra dun sa isa na mga isang taon lang siyang naglilinis, kaya kanya nasugat. So, yun yung bakit hindi madaling maging consistent ang mga services. Pero kailangan i-ensure yun ng mga companies. Moving on sa reliability, probability of functioning as specified. For example, FedEx next day delivery. So, uh, ano ba, pag sinabi mo, gawin mo, no? Kung ano yung tagline, usually ganyan eh, yung mga tagline ng company, yun yung ipinapangako nila. So, dapat, ah, gawin nila kung anong pinangako nila sa customers. Kasi kapag ganun, papangit din yung reputation nila. Hindi sila maging reliable, masisira sila sa mga tao. Okay, so, durability, expected life cycle of the product. So, ito na yung product life, hindi naman, life cycle length. And then, planned obsolescence encourages hardware upgrades. Ano yung planned obsolescence? Usually, yan yung nangyayari sa mga tech products. Kung tutusin, yung mga phones na mga nauna pang mga phones na manufacture, super tibay pa ng hardware. Pero, nagkakaroon ng planned obsolescence kasi hindi na mas ma-update yung software, hindi na rin niya kayang i-run yung mga bagong apps. Kaya no choice ka, kailangan mong magpalit na ng phone or mag-upgrade. So that is still part of planned obsolescence. So ano yung planned obsolescence? Yun nga, ini-encourage na magpalit ng unit or mag-upgrade after a certain period of time. Kung tutusin yung mga, kunwari, yung mga ref noon, meron yung ref namin noon na ka-age ko pa ata yun. Mga bago namin itinapon, siguro natapos na ako ng college bago itinapon si GE namin. Pero ngayon kapag bibili ka na ng appliances, maximum na lang ng 10 years. 'Di ba? So, yun yun. Yun na yung uso. Kasi nga, mabilis din naman yung pagbabago ng technology. Kapag ganun ang strategy nila, syempre, paano sila makakabenta pa? Tapos, magiging outdated na rin. Ngayon nga, yung mga ref ngayon, yung mga ref nga ngayon, ano yun? Tutuktukan mo na lang, makikita mo yung loob. So, kahit na household appliances, nagkakaroon ng, improvement. Okay, so ano pa? Ayan. Compatibility, sorry. Yung ease of use, balance functionality with user friendliness. So, eto. So, dapat, ano ba yung pagdating sa user friendliness? Madali tayong, parang, lalo na madaling mag-develop ang technology, mas gusto na lang natin yung madaling magamit. Diyan, ah, parang kung tutuusin, parang diyan umaano din yung mga MS Office or sa mga ano yan, nakasanayan na nating mga software apps. Parang ayaw na nating mag-shift sa ibang ganon, sa ibang, anong tawag doon? I forgot ko alam kung anong tawag doon. Pero parang MS Office. Parang kasi yung mga shortcuts, yung mga functions niya, aralin na naman natin kung magpapalit tayo ng software na ginagamit. So, yun. Ano pa ba yung mga complicated yan? Pagdating sa mga sa mga online shopping apps, may mga apps tayo na yung iba parang ang hirap-hirap intindihin ng interface niya. Parang, for example, siguro nasanay na rin ako sa TikTok Shop. Tapos ngayon, ah parehas naman nga ginagamit ko si online, si Shopee. Kaya lang parang ang hirap parang hindi ko mahanap kung saan pupunta hindi ko mahanap yung button kung saan mapupunta ako sa main store. Tapos yung main profile ng store, parang ganun. Parang ang hirap-hirap niyang i-navigate. So, sa lahat ng, ng products and services, mas maganda na yung madaling magamit, user-friendly, ang ang dapat i-aim. So, meron din tayong compatibility, consistency with existing standards or complementary products. Isa din to, ayan na naman, Microsoft. Um, ano pa ba? Drives multi-part pricing strategies. For example, Gillette razors and proprietary plates. So, yung mga, strategy ngayon, ibebenta yung isang item tapos merong complementary accessories. Yung accessories, parang hindi mo pwedeng gamitan ng ibang brand ng accessory. Dapat yun lang yun. So, maganda yung mas dumadami din yung kita nila pag ganun, di ba? Another thing is technological design. We have the product innovation. Product innovation, substantive functional differences, whereas product variation, they have minor changes. So, again, when you say technological design, pwedeng innovation, new functional technology, or variation, minor tweaks lang. Parang nagkaiba ng flavor, ng variety, ng size. Okay? So, dalawa yon. Next one, form, style, and packaging. So, for form, physical aspects like size and shape, um, managing stock keeping units to match consumption habits. Example, medicine, different dosages and forms. And then, style, aesthetic appeal. So, look and feel as a differentiator or the hedonic or expressive value. Yung hedonic na sinasabi, pag sinabing hedonic, ito yung tawag dito, yung, ala, yung enjoyment, ganon. Pag sinabing hedonic, pleasure, ayun pala, pleasure. Pleasure na, or ano yung mga aspects na nagbibigay ng hedonic value or pleasure na value or expressive value. Okay? So, yun yung under ng style, and for the packaging functions, it should give protection, convenience, agglomeration, and promotion. So, for packaging, see to it na syempre, kunwari pag large scale na kayo, see to it na yung product ay nakasecure kahit na ibalibag ng mga ibalibag. Kahit na mapunta siya sa iba't ibang truck, sa pag-aano is hindi pa rin madadamage yung product. So yun naman ang main thing ng or main function ng packaging to protect the product itself. And of course, inform. Dapat nandun din yung kumpleto label, kung pagkain man yan, dapat nandun yung mga nutrition facts, ingredients na ginamit. Yan. Okay, so uh, the sachet economy optimizes packaging for affordability and retail display. So, sa Pilipinas, marami tayong sachet. So, hindi katulad sa ibang bansa na malalaki ang bote-bote, kaskintit na nasa sachet. Kasi yan lang yung kaya nating mga Pinoy. Madalas, kaya yan lang yung parang afford for that month para hindi masyadong masakit. Kaya tingi-tingi lang tayo. Tapos madali pa siyang bilhin sa sari-sari store. Sabit-sabit lang, ganun. So, okay. So, we have, okay. So, for this 30-second pitch, we will be doing this next meeting, next week. Dahil face-to-face tayo. Okay? Discuss ko na lang ito next Tuesday. So, for our key takeaways, of course, you have to manage the intangible. Services perish and are inseparable. Manage the experience as closely as the product. Design for the 5 Cs. Every product feature must align with customer needs, company goals, and the context of the market. And optimize, don't maximize. Features like durability, usability, and customization must be balanced. More features do not always equal a better optimal value proposition. So, ayun. Exit ticket. You are the product manager for a new premium local coffee brand launching near campus. Using today's vocabulary, justify one decision you would make regarding its packaging and one decision regarding its degree of customization. Submit your answers on the class portal right after this. Sa comment ulit. Hindi, baka na lang, i-post ko na lang sa question for your activity today. So, ayun. So, I'll be discussing again the next topic sa recorded discussion na lang. So, see you.